What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the YouTube Barber Academy. I'm about to show you guys a full walkthrough with every little step inside of it. This is for barbers who are really trying to learn, and I'm just going to talk my way through the process, how I think about it, how I approach it. And this was originally going to be a membership only video, but this is going to be one of the few tutorials I release to the public that are going to be like this. Now, if this is something that suits you, if you're really in here and you're really trying to learn, this is going to be the best content for that purpose. And I would suggest that you guys join my membership. It's only $4.99 a month, and I'm going to start releasing a lot of videos like this. They don't take me too much time to edit. They're really for the person who's trying to learn, look over my shoulder, and grow. All right. So with that being said, I know this video won't do well, so if you guys do me a favor, smash that thumbs up, hit subscribe, and drop a comment if you can, and let's go. All right, you guys, I got my boy Connor here. He's been on the channel quite a few different times. I've cut his hair with practically every type of clipper, and today I'm going to do a little shootout between one of my other favorite clippers from Babyliss. This is the boosted limited edition. I love this clipper, and I'm going to use the new Instinct clipper, and we're going to see. He really has the thickest hair. You really don't see this too often. So whenever he comes in, it's like an opportunity for me to test it. But he's got some questions about his haircut, so what are we going to do different?
So I want to keep some length on the front. Not too short, but definitely take some length, thin it a little bit. But the back, I like to push it up and back, but like this back needs to be short a little bit so I can just have the front, you know what I mean? Like pretty much the same shit you've been doing. Pretty much the same thing you've been doing, but
a little shorter towards the crown, and we'll gradually make it longer towards the front.
And I like do that kind of. And I have such a weird hairstyle, man. You know me.
And if you guys remember, he likes to blow dry his own hair too, which is great. So.
And if you can find a part in there, you can hard part it, just a thin line.
Perfect.
I don't even know where it is anymore.
I got you. We'll find it. I'll get my part locator out, and we'll chop that thing up. All right, you guys, we're going to break out a brand new Zuka neck guard. This one's like the dark blue one, and what this does, this keeps all the hair from going underneath the cape or getting on his neck. He can comfortably go back to work, and it's just such a great product, man. It just sticks to itself, makes it easy, boom, and that's it. When you're done, you can wash them off with some antibacterial soap, you dry them, and they're good to go. But let's try something fun here. Because this hair is so thick, I'm going to test a couple trimmers just to kind of have some fun with it. So we'll start with a wall detailer. I'm going to put in the skin line into all this bulk, which is not something I would always do, but it's a fun opportunity, so let's just do it. So wall detailer, can it cut? Ooh. Oh, I thought that's what I was going to get. Sorry, bro. It did not cut at all. Next trimmer, we'll do the Saber from Stylecraft. I already know this ain't going to have no trouble. I've done this so many times. I've tried to test this to the ends of the earth here. Next trimmer, we'll do the matching to the one that we plan on shooting out. This is actually the matching set you get with the limited. So this is the Gold FX blade. Just a little bit there. It's not as smooth. It's cutting. Leaving some hairs, but when I come back up, it gets them. All right. Next one. Like, honestly, my personal favorite for an application like this is definitely going to probably wind up being the Instinct. The Instinct is just ridiculous. So here goes the Instinct. I mean, it's like, it'll cut hair like it's not even there. Ridiculous. So I'll run that out a little bit.
Which one is that?
This is the Instinct. This is kind of like the newest, the latest and greatest. With a vector motor, it's designed to keep the same pace no matter what it comes in contact with. So if it comes in contact with a lot of bulk, this one speeds up. So it has like a huge advantage pretty much over anything.
I can feel the different vibrations between each one, and the second one that you used and this one are have like the crispest cut.
We'll do it on this side here. I'm going to run with the Instinct. Starting to try to make my way to connecting. to the back here. I mean, there's not really too many trimmers that can just do this, like where you can constantly go into that much hair. That's a lot of hair for any trimmer really to deal with. So I'm going to tidy this side up where I was doing the testing, and I'm going to show you guys a tool that I actually use for this a lot now, and it's just simplified everything. So now that I got my line in, I'm actually going to switch over to a clipper that was designed just to remove bulk. This will cut the hair just as close as a trimmer, and you know, it's just a good workhorse. Like, instead of using anything else or wasting any other batteries or making my trimmer blades dull, I typically will pick this up throughout the day to knock these out. Also love using these for flat tops and things like that. Clipper over comb. They're just a great clipper to use for like a workhorse scenario. But getting in them hard to reach spots, it still makes sense to use a trimmer. But this cuts close enough where I can use the electric shaver and I can remove that bulk. So speaking of electric shavers, I'm going to use the most expensive electric shaver on the market. Actually, I don't know if that's true, but $430 for an electric shaver is a lot. And I was really going to return it, to be honest, but it's so good that I decided against returning it. It's so fast and it cuts very close, closer than the Braun Series 9. And if you guys are interested in seeing a comparison between this and the Braun Series 9, I will link it below. I'll link it in the description, because I have filmed that video. I mean, for a big old wide area like this, these are just so great for that. And my goal here is to get close to that line as I can, but the box shaver is going to be your friend when you need to detail. So I'm going to actually switch over to the box shaver. Let's finish up that little spot I missed. It's so thick. In all honesty, his hair is like one of the most challenging haircuts I do in a day, and it's because it is thick, but it's not really just because it's thick. It's because, like, look how light his scalp is, and look how dark his hair. I mean, this hair is so dark, you really don't see that many clients coming in with hair this dark on skin this light. So it will show every single mistake you make if you're not careful. I kind of want to soften that and just kind of tap down a little bit when I get near the trimmer line. Flip it over and only use one of the blades. When I'm not filming and I'm really trying to save time, the truth is I actually use 2 electric shavers most of the time. I'll put one in my left hand and I'll use them both. Okay, so let's let the challenge begin. Let me just make sure that I got both sides nice and even. I do like to have like a little bit of a curve there. We covered that in the trimline positioning video. I think I'm gonna bring this side up just a hair before I get started.
I felt that, yeah.
You know, they're not designed to cut in their hair that. This one is. I'm just trying to make that little adjustment with the other trimmer. It just wasn't going to happen. Okay, so perfect test for the trimmers. And now on to the test for the clippers. I'm going to use the same technique on both sides. So I'll start on this side here, and I'll do this side with the boost. So I'm going to begin with it wide open. Now this is huge and it's completely different than the way I'm going to attack the other one, but I kind of like to grip this one somewhere in the middle, and I'm going to just kind of push up. And I'm going to make my first line, and this clipper is fully open. Leave it in the comments below if you guys would like to see any other clippers kind of shot out like this, where we'll do half the head with one and half the head with the other, and we're gonna break it down at the end which one, you know, I like the most, why I liked it, that type of stuff. So since I left so much weight here because I kind of wanted to test the clipper, I'm actually going to jump over to phase 2, which is actually clipper over comb, and I'm going to see if I can blend that out. It's pretty easy to do in this way. I'm actually going to be using the Zuka comb, same company that makes the neck guards, and I'm just going to put it in there and literally hold it still. I'm going to close this clipper all the way. And we're going to just blend that in a little bit. Getting through pretty good with the clipper over comb. I'm not moving really fast. And that reduced some of the work I'm going to have to do as I get to the top. All right. I like where we're at. I'm going to begin jumping in here with the number 1. And just in case you guys were wondering, these clippers can take the wall guards. They can both take the same guards, and I'm going to use the exact same guards for both of them. So I'm going to open this up halfway, 2 clicks, and I'm just using the corner . I find myself holding this one a lot lower just because of the size of it, and I kind of want to get my hand on that rubber handle. It feels like I'm getting some good control out of it. Despite the size of it, it's not really that bad. I'm going to close this all the way. Don't really notice it. All right, love that connection that it's making to the top. I really think that's coming together nice. And for that reason, I'm actually going to jump on to getting this skin line out. I literally went from, trimmer line, clipper over comb, got that looking pretty good. And this will be the easier side because it's the side that the hard part's on. So we can take that into consideration. But I'm going to close this all the way. And I'm going to begin just using one of the corners. You can see his grain grows a little funny, so I'm trying to kind of stay against it. The amount of movement that I'm making, I'm in literally 2 or 3 teeth, and that's about it. I'm not trying to push too hard or move too fast, especially in this step. Begin opening it 1 click at a time. See what that does. Begin opening it a little bit more. I did put that bottom line in pretty harsh with the trimmer, so more than likely I'm going to have to return to the trimmer to fully remove it. And I'm going to keep opening until I have this all the way open. All right, we've built us a little bit of weight here, so I'm going to jump over to the half guard now, and I'm going to knock out that weight. I'm going to go halfway open and just sort of test it. That's what I like to do. So 2 clicks. This lever is getting kind of loose on me. It wasn't like that before. It's getting a little bit harder for me. I'm gonna have to tighten that screw. It should be fine. But just using that corner, just again the way I was before, and opening it halfway gives me a little bit of an idea of what I need to do next. So I'll do a couple taps with it halfway and sort of see what effect that has, and that'll tell me if I want to open it, which I do in this case, or if I maybe need to close it, which I will also after I'm done with this step. I'm going to open this a little bit more. This one little spot that's bothering me. I'm going to close it all the way. And again, just staying patient here and using the corner only. All right, well, this blade is a wedge blade, right? So it's not going to remove this line as easy as a fade blade, right? I'm not going to hold that against it because, as you can see, it produced a very smooth cut here. And it looks like the blend is coming together really nice. And I'm not sure how well you can see it in camera, but at the very bottom, there's definitely a little bit of a line left over. So, with that being said, I'm actually gonna jump over real quick to the Instincts, which have a fusion blade on it. And just as a test, I want to see if this can remove this. I mean, and honestly, it is. It's actually doing what I wanted it to do. I didn't want to jump directly back to the trimmer if I could avoid it. I'd rather use like a clipper blade, really. If I can avoid using any trimmer, it'll reduce the amount of mistakes that I potentially could make. And as you guys can see, this blade is kind of the best of both worlds. A fusion blade, or they call it a vapor blade now. But what this blade is designed to do is it's designed to cut kind of like a taper blade and kind of like a fade blade. It's sort of in the middle. So the idea was we needed something that could get closer, but we didn't want to use the fade blade because it's very easy to make a mistake with a fade blade, and especially at this point in the blend where everything is really starting to come together pretty nice. I don't want to push it, you know? So now that I used the fade blade, I feel more comfortable coming in here with a trimmer and just kind of tapping around and breaking up any little extra weight lines that are left over. You don't have to do this everywhere either. You can like literally go right to where your problem is and do it. Now I'm going to tighten this up a little bit. And now I think I'm going to go in with the half guard and just try to detail a little bit more. Now this step is really where a wedge blade is going to shine, because I don't want to use a fade blade right now. I'm so close to a really beautiful outcome here that the last thing I want to do is potentially poke a hole in it or make a mistake. That looks good. That looks really sharp. And I didn't even use shear over comb, which I'm going to do that on both sides. So let's jump on over to this side, where obviously there's going to be a little bit more weight on this side. And for that reason, it might be a little more difficult to get the blend perfect on this side. So let's give it a go. Now the Instinct, because it's so small, because it's so light, I like to kind of hold it in between these two fingers, and then I lock these fingers below it. So I sort of make my C motion almost with my pinky. It's just something I do to kind of start the blend in the top areas, so it looks like this. I'm pushing on it with my pinky, little by little. So you can sort of hear that motor speeding up a little bit. I'm going to reduce the amount of my flick. I want to make sure that I'm hitting those lengths. So I want to make sure that I'm holding it flat at the very bottom, and I'm getting that length to get as short as it needs to be so that I don't have room to do the blend. That was pretty good. Let's keep with our same process. We jump over to the Zuka comb again. I'm literally just going to hold it on the angle that I want it to reflect. I don't really need to move it that much. You can hear the clipper just speeding up because this clipper is designed to run at 11,000 RPMs no matter what you do to it. So if I put my finger on the blade, it's going to speed up to maintain that speed. So remember in the beginning, he told me in the beginning that he wanted to get this crown area a little bit shorter. And this is just a great way to save yourself a little bit of time with the shears. I can kind of come in here with my clipper over comb and I can begin that process. It'll reduce a little bit of work with my shears, but it'll also give me the opportunity to shape it. All right, I like how we're looking there. Now we're gonna have to work this out, and we're gonna actually begin with the number 1 here. I'm gonna create a little space for myself before I attack that skin line. So 2 clicks open with the number 1, 1, 2. And I'm gonna use just the corner. I want to test that. I want to see what effect does that have. We'll do the same thing to the back just to kind of keep it uniform. Now I know I can close this a little bit. I'm going to close it all the way. I'm just using one corner. I know it looks like the full blade is down, but I'm going to show you guys something. I could literally fit the width of this fade brush. I could fit that in there. That's how high I'm hovering that blade. Open this up a little bit. Go back and forth with it a little bit. As I come into areas that I can't reach, I'm going ahead and I'm going to close it down a little bit. So it's just like a little bit of lever play up and down. So I got it. At this point, I feel like I did everything I could do with that. Number 1, I really softened the area above that line. And now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to start to work on that line. I'm going to start with it fully closed. And I'm only going to be hovering a couple teeth. Just a couple teeth, that's all. Pop it open a little bit. Just one click at a time. Stay patient here. Things are starting to come together nice, and the last thing you want to do is start to rush. I always feel myself starting to rush when I start to see things coming together, and I gotta remind myself every once in a while that I need to be patient and I need to slow down some. Because the last thing you want to do is make a mistake when you're really close to getting this to come together nice. Click it open again. Just using the corner of the blade. When you chip into it with just the corner, you can sort of see what the effect would be if I lay it down, so I can kind of manage how much of the blade I want to lay down at one time and how much I don't. I can also see if I need to close it or if I need to open it again. I gotta give it to this blade, man. This blade made quick work out of that trimmer line. It's not entirely gone, but it has reduced it to such a manageable portion that I could just take the trimmer and I can kind of flick into that once I'm done. But I'm gonna actually jump to the half guard now, and I'm gonna try to finish off that connection to the top. All right, we're gonna go 2 clicks open with the half guard, just using the corner. It's not enough. I already know that, but I'm gonna test it on some other areas. I could tell that that's not cutting close enough to do what I want it to do. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna close it 1 click and see if that gets it. Being patient here. I kind of almost knew from experience that I could go fully closed, but I'm grateful that I didn't because I just was able to clean a little bit of that. Now I'm going to close it all the way. That's coming together pretty nice on this side, actually. So I think I'm actually going to probably leave some of this to some shear over comb and some clipper over comb, but try to kind of detail this a little bit more with it fully open. Whenever I get to this point in the haircut where like I'm kind of detailing things, I really do like to switch over to a taper blade. It's usually the smartest thing you could do because they're a lot more forgiving. And a lot of times I got my saber on my desk and I'm just jumping over to that. But I'm actually pretty surprised by how forgiving this whole thing has been. And it's come together pretty nice. So now that I've created some space, I can bring this trimmer in here a little bit, see if I can reduce some of this. Break some of it up where that original guideline was. That's good on that other side. We're going to make sure that we're nice and tidied up. Coming down with the grain. I like it. On this side, because I got a little bit of weight right there, I'm actually going to jump over to the 1 1/2. I'm going to open it fully. And I'm just going to use the corner to try to break that up a little bit. Close it down a little bit. Yeah, that helped a little bit for sure. So I'll bounce back to the 1 a little bit here. If you notice, man, it's all about being careful. Like I'm just being careful here. You know, I could have done some of that with the number 1, but I knew that I have a 1 1/2, and I wanted to test it out there and see if that would get it. I think that about did it. That looks really good right there. I think I see like one little area here that I could make a little better. You know, it'd be kind of cool too when we do this hard part. It's a situation that a lot of trimmers struggle in, and when I do this hard part, I'm actually going to do a little shootout there too. I'll try using like the Babyliss Boost Gold FX one, and then I'll try using it with like maybe the Saber, maybe the Instinct. The Instinct, I'll tell you guys right now, the Instinct will win this hands down. I've tested this over and over again. There's just certain situations that nothing can really compare to what the Instinct does. I'm talking about the Instinct trimmer. I'm doing the same thing here. I'm just stepping my way back up little by little. Back of the haircut's always challenging because the head shape. A lot of times there's bones here and there's uneven spots where you're working. I'm going to the half guard now, 2 clicks open. There's a spot that I'm seeing on my camera, like right here, that's bothering me. I know it could be smoother. I'm getting into that Babyliss side a little bit. I can't help it. Don't let a lot of times there's going to be like scars in the head. I could see them. Don't let like a scar cause you to go up too high and mess up your haircut. Like a scar is a scar. It's just part of what's going to be there. There's sometimes you could use some like texturizing shears around that, stuff like that. That's what we'll do here. But don't let it be the reason you mess up your blend. A lot of barbers will probably go chasing up into there trying to fix something because they thought they did it. But the bottom, the back of the head, you know, people beat themselves up a little bit sometimes. All right, so I like the connection I got going in the back here. I feel like I'm almost done. We'll come back around with some shear over comb and some texturizing shears. But I think it's going to be time here to move on to the top. We're going to cut the hard part, and we're going to start working on the edge. All right, I'm going to throw a little bit of hairspray just in the front of the edge up and right where I plan on going with the trimmer. That's going to keep the hair in place. It's going to lock it down. It's going to make it a little bit easier for me to do the edge up. I'll cut the top after I'm done with this step, but I figured while the hair is dry, it sort of makes sense to use the trimmers now.
I'll put it in my garage. I want to buy the paintball gun just to scare it off.
That's the spot. Okay, so I'm going to start with a trimmer that's probably not going to do a good job. This is the new Andis. And it's a good trimmer. It just, for an application like this, I would guess that it's not going to do a great job. I mean, his hair is thick too, but it hardly seems like it's having much of an impact. Let's jump over to the Babyliss. This was my favorite for a very long time. This one's performing okay. Definitely making a stronger line than the new bespoke trimmer did. I think it's time for you guys to see what I'm talking about when it comes. It's time for you guys to see what I'm talking about when it comes to this instinct.
First official sport is people. I want to guess with him. Bottom right is baseball gloves.
In my way.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He's been wearing his baseball pants every day for like the past 4 days.
Not sure how well that's coming across on camera, but this cuts damn near close to like what a razor cuts like. I like to continue using that one, to be honest, because of the way that it cuts. It just makes everything, like, it's very predictable. But so is this one. This is my other favorite. With the small blade, these are just an unbeatable trimmer. He has these two spots that grows down. He shaves them off in between, so I'm going to do my best to cut it.
Try not to go too high.
Yeah, on the way. And it isn't. It's just you literally have two spots that come down to here, and the rest is
better than
like
the opposite way.
Normal. Oh yeah, he's got more. He's got gas in the tank on this edge, bro. You'll be fine, bro. I don't think you're gonna be
Grows
going
like the opposite way.
going bald anytime soon, bro.
What do they call that? Widow's peak or whatever when it goes up on the sides there?
You got like a double widow's peak.
It's like a reverse widow's peak. Instead of it going backwards, it goes forward.
You're so right, bro.
Weird. It's my horns, bro. My horns.
Double horns.
Mm-hmm.
Should be giving you bad ideas.
Yeah.
All right. Well, while we're here, I might as well just use the razor. So I'm gonna throw a little bit of Tomb 45. Shave gel.
I got myself a straight razor. I haven't used it yet, though.
No?
Yeah, I'm gonna use it to line up my beard when I grow it out, and I was gonna see if I could
When are
use
you
it up
gonna grow it
there.
out?
What?
You're gonna grow your beard out?
Well, actually, I just shaved. I haven't had my face shaved in like a year or so. I just messed up lining my beard up. That's why I bought the straight blade.
I told you a long time ago.
Yeah, I've been using just like my razor. It's not fun.
Speaking of straight razors, I got my Essence razor. I love this razor, and it's so easy to use because of its weight and its length. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try not to cut them. I do seem to cut them quite a few times. I'll be careful. Because this grain grows a bunch of different directions too, like right where this is like on a colic / widow's peak.
I bought a guy. I'm gonna have a mini bush hog attachment for my weed whacker. Dude, it's like a blade.
I don't think I've cut them yet.
That like just cuts through.
It's always the other side.
Oh, dude, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Hit yourself there too.
It's always the other side. I don't know why.
Tip you this way. All right, so like I kind of want to just come directly against this grain here, but I won't.
That's how I usually do it. I'll go towards you on my left side.
Right.
With the razor.
Well, I'm gonna do it. I won't do it with the first stroke.
Oh, true.
I'm trying not to cut you.
Yeah, true.
I'm gonna come against the grain here and just try to get this as close as possible.
I want to, but like at the same time, like shooting the ground in my backyard. No one would really care, but I hear someone doors down.
All right.
Every Saturday morning.
I'm gonna come against the grain now.
Oh, nuts.
I love this stroke, like coming from underneath. It just makes life easier because you're doing a pull stroke, so you're gonna have a lot more control. So if I pull his skin down with my other 2 fingers, I just have a lot of control over not slipping up and shaving his top of his head off.
Buffalo Bill me.
Right. Let's get the hard part.
Oh, I haven't seen you since that Buffalo game, man.
Oh, the
Dude,
Miami one?
yeah. What's his name? DeMar?
Oh yeah.
Bro, that was crazy.
Terrible, bro.
What do you think about that next game where they kicked it off to the 10-yard line and they ran it back? What do you think about that?
Oh, I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah. You didn't think it was scripted, though?
I don't think so.
Oh, God.
He ran 2 back.
Did they ever kick to the 10-yard line nowadays, though? Like, I haven't seen that in forever.
What they were trying to do is they were trying to squib kick it so that Naeem Hines wouldn't get a hold of it because he already scored.
I thought it was the first kickoff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they tried to squib it to him because they were afraid that they couldn't stop him. If he got an open space, the guy is fast as hell. So they're trying to make it so somebody else came up with it.
That's his 3rd one of the year too, right? That guy who ran it back, it's like his 2nd or 3rd one of the year.
No, that was the first time we've done that in 3 years.
Oh.
In Buffalo.
Maybe the guy that
teams, but we're not.
Yeah.
We're not fortunate.
Is the guy who ran it back? Is he newer?
Yeah, he was on the Colts.
Maybe he has. Maybe that's his 3rd one total.
Oh,
in
he
his
has.
career.
Yeah.
I was like reading up on
That's like a big deal. Like,
yeah.
you know, for them, that's something that happens only a few times in their career. And for him to do it twice in one
You think
game,
he'll ever play again? Or you think he's
DeMar?
done? Yeah, because some people I've been reading he might be done. Because I heard he had some
richer
damage on his lungs.
He's rich as hell now.
Yeah, no problem. Retiring, taking your money.
Alright, if you guys remember, in the beginning, he asked me to bring his crown a little shorter and leave the top a little longer in the front. I'm going to show you guys how to do that in a real easy way. So we're going to use the same technique we always use. We're going to use the Mohawk guideline. And if you notice, I began this behind the front here. And I'm going to show you why in a second. So in a way, this actually makes your cut easier because now I just put the guideline in the center the way we always do, right? And my camera is a little crooked. It's bothering me. Better. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up right behind my guideline, leave all that out of it in the front. That's perfectly fine the way it is. And you guys will see the guide is right here, and I'm going to cut off to the edges. Guide, I'm going to cut off to the edge. I'm going to keep this up on both sides. Why I raise my pinky like that, I only notice it when I'm filming, that I'm hiding the guideline. But this is going to have it like stand up a little bit, which is kind of like what he likes to do.
Mm-hmm.
I know you guys all got one of those customers that likes, you know, something a little bit different, and he's one of mine that likes that. He likes to blow dry his own hair, and in between haircuts, he cooks up new ideas.
Yeah, but it always looks good.
Yep. I love cutting your hair. I don't give a shit what you come in here and ask for. You come in here and ask for.
I'm gonna need a Jerry curl.
Let's go, baby.
Bring it back.
Okay, so I've worked that off to the edges. Because I cut horizontally like this, I'm going to cross-check it vertically. All right, so you're going to see when you cross-check this vertically that there's going to be some little hairs that you may have missed. That's perfectly normal, perfectly fine. But you got to get them, otherwise this is going to create lines in the haircut when it's dry. Which is why I go back through just like this. I'm going to show you guys a cool little over-direction technique for the front that's going to stop. It's going to allow it to kind of gradually get longer. So the first thing we want to do, now that we have done the rest of the cut, the first thing that we want to do is we want to establish how long we want this front piece to actually be. And I can always adjust this later, but I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. I can always adjust this later once the hair is dry and styled to make it so it fits what I'm thinking. So all I was really doing there was making sure it's even. Now I'm going to comb it right back into my other section, and I'm going to be able to actually pick up that guideline behind it. So I'm trying to show this on camera. It's kind of challenging to see. As long as you have your shorter length, which is right about here, we're going to comb it right back into that shorter length, and you guys are going to see there's actually a guideline right there. See the guideline? It's literally right above my fingers. I'm going to slide up my fingers till this guideline disappears. Combing all the hair from the front back. What you're going to see that did is that's going to create this little graduated effect. So notice how it's gotten longer towards the front. Longer towards the front. We can clean that up a little bit. And that's perfect. So that's going to leave that length in the front a little bit longer. And now our next step is going to be to hand off the blow dryer to him and let him dry it. And let's make sure that everything is to his satisfaction. Then I can detail the last few parts to what we're doing. Remind me to show you that video before you leave.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so let's throw a little bit of gel in it. Let's make sure that it's going to style up the way that we have in mind. And if I have to, I can readjust the front a little bit. I didn't use any enhancements on this cut. I could, because his hair is so dark, you'd hardly see him. But whether I choose to or not, it's kind of irrelevant. Like, I want you guys to see which side you think came out cleaner with which clipper, and I'm going to break down my thoughts here in a second. But let's get this cut on point first. Now, if you guys notice, because of the longer length in the front, I'm able to kind of pop that up, which makes it look cool. It almost doesn't let you know that the rest of it's sort of sticking up a little bit, which is kind of cool. Make sure I got my part. We did such a thin part. Like I said, I really like the way that tops land. So my finishing touches are going to be some scissor work here. Anything that's sticking out, I'm going to use the inside of my shear to just further detail. Make sure everything there, especially on the hard part lines. This is like one of the really big pet peeves I have. When I do a hard part, I don't want there to be any hairs just sticking out. Because that's going to happen anyways because we cut it in there. So if I can reduce that a little bit before he leaves, it'll last longer to be better. I still managed to cut you, despite how careful I was. You guys missed it, yo. When he was blow drying his hair, some guy snuck in and cut him in the forehead. He got him. On this side, it's not because of the clipper. I feel like it's still a tiny bit weighty. And I could do that easily with some shear over comb.
Oh, like bulky a little bit?
Yeah. I love the transition in the blend. This side looks real icy. I'll try to use this texturizing. Texturizing shears really can help you out in this particular situation where, like, literally it's just because of the amount of hair he has. Like, I don't like using texturizing shears in certain situations. We've talked about that before. But in this situation, it is the tool that makes the most sense. Shears here on the corners, just to further square off the edge up. It would be hard for him to maintain this just because of the amount of hair he's got right there.
There's a big ass stone fence. A big ass concrete wall.
I want you to see this real quick before we get to that. All the hair that's underneath, you can literally see the line. Not even the powder will get underneath this. That's why I just love this product, man. It leaves my customers clean. The hair that's left is that it's attached. I'm about to shave that off before he goes. But let's talk about it. All right. So on this side, we use the Instinct. This was definitely going to be the harder side. I've cut his hair many times, and I know this. And I think the Instinct did a fantastic job. There was a few spots up towards the top that I would have liked to have had a taper blade, regardless of what clipper I had. It would have made that a little bit easier. But the Instinct just has this like superior amount of power. On this side, the wedge blade does have that forgiveness, which really allowed me to connect it to the top really easily. So I would say that they both kind of have their own place in the world, like as far as using the wedge blade versus like a fade blade or a vapor blade. But if I'm going on clipper alone, as much as I love the boost, when I pick up this one, it's so much smaller and it's so much less trouble in the hand. This one has 4 hours of runtime with that new vector motor, and this is only 2 hours of runtime. Still a great clipper. I really like it, but I would definitely say that for the right person, if you like something smaller, this would be for you. And if you like a larger clipper, the flashlight shape, still very nice. So they both have their place. I wouldn't even really necessarily pick a winner, as I already think that across the board you're getting a little bit more out of the Instinct. But just both great clippers. And if you guys want to check the boost out, you guys can head over to Fort Worth Barber Supply. I have a link below. You guys can use my code Eddie10. You can save 10% off of this unit. And if you guys want to use the Gamma Instinct, you guys can use the code Eddie. You can save 10% there. This side's for the Instinct, and this side here is from the Boost. All right, you guys, I hope you liked the cut. This is the YouTube Barber Academy. I'm Mr. Eddie Barber, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Oh, and if you want to see a full detailed review on all these clippers, all these trimmers, all these shavers, I will list it right here. Best shaver 2023, best trimmer 2023, best clipper 2023. All right, I'm out. Peace.